Okay, so imagine this. You're in college, and it's your 21st birthday. Your friends have decided to buy you a plane ticket to Las Vegas and are going to take you out to one of the casinos to celebrate. When you get to the casinos, your friends and you walk up to one of the card tables. Odds are you'll be playing blackjack, the world's most popular card game. It's also known as 21. You order yourself a drink and put down some chips for the games. You have a pretty good idea of how to play, and you're pretty confident that you'll do well. After all, you've been playing this same game at parties, tailgates, social events, and just with family for what seems like forever. It is pretty simple. On your first hand, you get a bit lucky, but still make out okay. You make a few dollars. Throughout the rest of the night, though, you don't do so well. Actually, you do downright horribly. In the end, you've blown all of your money, and you can barely afford the plane to get back to college. Some birthday, right? Well, you may not lose all of your money at a casino playing blackjack, but you'll probably find yourself playing blackjack at some point during your life. I don't know about you, but I prefer winning card games and the occasional money, Cheetos, wings, soda, or whatever sort of prize comes with winning. Whether it be a friendly game with some friends, a short bet at a party, or out at a casino on your birthday, you'll probably want to know how to win. Well, I'm here to show you how to do just that. Win at blackjack. After all, how hard can it really be? Yes, I am talking about counting cards. I'm sure that many of you have heard the term counting cards before, and probably heard it used in a bad context. Maybe some of you even think it's illegal. Well, I can promise you it's not. It's just a way for people with gifted minds to win a few games of cards. Actually, you don't really need a gifted mind at all. As long as you can do simple math, you'll be able to become a blackjack master. And I'm going to tell you how to do just that. Now first, we should probably tell those of you who don't know how to play blackjack the basic rules and procedures of how to play. Basically, you're playing against the dealer. Everybody gets 2 cards to begin with. Face cards are worth 10 points. The closest person to 21 wins. If you go over, you lose. If the dealer goes over, they lose. It's pretty simple. Now that we have that out of the way, we can get down to teaching you how to win a game of blackjack. Without further delay, let's get started. Now the first step of counting cards is to learn basic strategy. Get acquainted with the game. To be an effective card counter, you'll need to know the ins and outs of basic strategy. You'll need to know why it makes sense to split on certain hands, stay on the dealer certain cards, and etc. For this step, practice makes perfect. Practice at the kitchen table, in the car, on the airplane, whatever you need to do to get the game down, to an instinct. This would take too long for me to explain in this video right now, but there are tons of books and websites dedicated to just this subject. Remember, don't get too fancy at this point, you're just learning what makes sense to do in certain situations. The next step to learning how to count cards is to learn why card counting works. If you understand basic strategy, which by this point you probably should, you'll understand why card counting works when it is explained to you. To put it simply, counting cards works because of simple math and probability. There are an even number of high cards and low cards in a deck. The more low cards that have already been dealt, the more high cards are likely to be dealt in the future. Card counting works on simple probability. There are 52 cards in the deck. 20 of those cards are high cards, 12 of those are indifferent cards, and 20 of them are low cards. With an even count, possibly a new deck, there's a 38% chance that the next card to be dealt will be high. With a +4 count, there is a 42% chance that the next card to be dealt will be high. And with a -4 count, there's only a 33% chance that the next card dealt will be a high card. Since high cards are good for the player, the higher the count is, the higher the probability is of winning the game. It's pretty simple. The next step of counting cards is learning the value of each card. As I said, card counting works based on probability, and it's pretty simple. To help us work out the probability of a high card being dealt, we will group the cards into 3 different categories. High cards, which are 10s, face cards, and aces, and have a value of -1. Low cards, which are 2 through 6, and have a value of +1. And finally, indifferent cards, which are 7 through 9 and have no value. Now that the cards are categorized, we can get into the real card counting. When the dealer has a fresh deck, begin by assuming a count of 0. Then, using the values I just told you, keep count of each dealt card. Add up the values. +1, -1, or 0 for all of the cards. Keep doing so for each hand until you reach a count with a significantly positive number, such as +4 or +5. When you get to a larger positive number, the odds of you winning grow, and the odds of the dealer winning shrink. It's pretty simple, so when the count gets larger, start to increase your bet. Now, I'm sure that many of you are thinking, well, this doesn't really work in casinos because casinos use more than one deck. It is true that casinos use more than one deck, and this does affect the count. All you have to do to get the true count of the remaining cards is to take the count you have already gathered and divide by the number of decks being used. So for example, if the count you have is +9 and the dealer is using 3 decks, the true count is +3. Here are some tips to help you get better. Practice makes perfect in card counting. Blackjack can be a fast-paced game, especially in casinos, and it's very easy to get distracted or just lose the count. Practice at home first or with some friends to get the hang of it. Second, you probably don't want to go around flaunting the fact that you're counting cards. While the practice is not illegal, casinos can technically kick you out if they find out you're counting. Also, if you're betting with real money and playing with your friends, I highly doubt they'd appreciate losing their money because someone knows how to play the game better than they do. To conclude, card counting is an incredibly simple way to improve your odds of winning the world's most popular card game, blackjack. It's a strategy that works on simple math and probability, and with a little practice, it's a technique anyone can master. Now that I'm done, I hope I've taught you how to win a few games of cards. And maybe win a few bets too, if that's your thing. Thank you.